Tom, the Top-Heavy Mirage. Why is our pipeline full of leads that never convert to opportunities?
Isn't that funny? I love that we called it leads that never convert. Why don't we refer to that as wishes and dreams and hopes and aspirations? And let's call a lead the very few things that actually are real potential opportunities. If you if you talk to sales leaders, they will all tell you that they feel like their funnel is chock full, and it is. And most of it is larded with things that don't belong there. Because how does something get in the funnel? First of all, we've got pressure on either our SDRs, our BDRs, or account executives to continue to add to the top of the funnel. And often we reward our BDRs and SDRs for doing that. So they make dozens of calls, emails, in-mails, etc. Some people agree, and oh my God, we have a call. Boom, boom. It should be in the funnel, and it shouldn't. First of all, we have no idea, if we're not trained to know how to do it, of figuring out before we reach out to anybody, can we structure a hypothesis of need? What information can we garner before we ever reach out that indicates there are things about the characteristic of the positioning of this company, the performance of this company, the management of this company, any one of a dozen other things that tell us they may actually be interested in exploring a decision we care about. That's different than they may be interested in buying from me. They may be interested in exploring an alternative to what they're doing now. The second piece of that is that I need to understand how to get the individuals I'm going to contact at that company. How do I get them? How do I get their attention? I mean, I don't know about you, but I get probably 100 unsolicited emails a day, all of which promise me all kinds of things. Like, oh, we could give you 5x this and, 10 times ROI and, make the world happier. And, listen, if somebody could tell me that I'll tell you how to be 6 inches taller, I'm in. But other than that, I'm not interested. So we need to be able to craft something which causes in the mind of the person we're contacting a pattern interrupt, which will force you to pay attention even if you're busy. And a pattern interrupt is the easiest thing to find if you know how. It takes time now to find that information. But if I can be armed with the information to put in the subject line of my email that seduces you to open it, if I could have something I could observe when you first answer the phone that makes you pause and actually think and become curious. If I could use that same thing in the subject line of an in-mail. And then I'm equipped with the information that I've garnered to establish a hypothesis of need. Why would there possibly be an exploration, a willingness, a seed of opportunity? So before something gets in the top of my funnel, it has at least the initial evidence to be qualified to be there. Instead of the quality to be there is they answered the phone for the BDR. They agreed to see a demo and they didn't even show up. Or my salesperson is just sure we need to get this particular client. Think how big they are. Think of the revenue they could produce. It doesn't work like that. So what happens? The funnel gets chock full. The forecast stinks. The language at deal reviews between the leader and the salespeople are a stream of questions followed by a stream of self-forgiving excuses. And everything slows down because there's only so many calories you can spend in a day. And if you're wasting your time chasing ghosts, oh, I got a full funnel, I can go to bed at night. Yeah, well, the numbers aren't matching up. And I have learned, and I'm going to say this every single episode. I have learned that the magician, my friend, the person I admire in this industry the most, Zeb Wexler, can accelerate what I just described beyond your belief, which what might take you hours and hours can now be done in a very few moments, maybe even seconds.